Darakaraka in different houses. So guys, first of all, I would like to tell you that if you are a male, then you can watch this video for your wife. If you are a female, then you can watch this video for your husband as well. Now, first question arrived that what is Darakaraka? So I want to tell you that Darakaraka is basically your spouse significator in your horoscope, in your birth chart in Vedic astrology. Now, how you can see which planet is your Darakaraka? So Darakaraka is the planet which is holding the lowest degree in your horoscope in Vedic astrology. Now, from 7 main planet excluding Rahu Ketu, right? So from planets which is Sun, Moon, Mercury, Mars, Venus, Jupiter, Saturn. From these 7 planets, the planet which is having the lowest degree is your Darakaraka. In this Jaimini Astrology concept of Darakaraka, we don't take Rahu, Ketu or any other planet. Except these 7 planets, we don't take any planet. So you only need to see Sun, Moon, Mars, Mercury, Jupiter, Venus, Saturn. From these 7 planets, the planet which is having your lowest degree is your Darakaraka. That your Darakaraka planet is placed in which house from 1 to 12 houses. In which house your Darakaraka planet is placed? If your Darakaraka is placed in first house, so what does it mean? So now first thing we will see that what does first house represent. First house is related to ourselves. It represents our body, it represents our nature, it represents color of our body, it represents our height, it represents our wisdom, it represents our self-belief, it represents our thinking, it represents our way to perceive objects, it represents our mind, it represents our knowledge, and it represents a lot of more things, right? Now, first thing that I have seen practically, if your Darakaraka as any planet is sitting in the first house of your D1 natal chart, in that case, there is high chances that the person you will going to marry is from the same city that you born or from the same place, right? Now, before I tell you more about spouse, I want to tell you that I have launched my money and wealth remedy self-help course. Don't miss this chance because I'm giving massive percent discounts for the first few hundred people who will purchase this course. In this course, you will learn powerful techniques and remedies to attract wealth and abundance using astrology. So act now and enroll fast. This offer won't last longer. Definitely check out this course on my website. Let's say, for example, you born in any city. So the person that you will gonna marry there's high chances that that person will be near your hometown, right? The place you born. The person can be from your college. The person can be, the friend of your, the person can be anyone you know in party, in college, or maybe he or she is like your father's friend, daughter or son or something like that. But the main thing that we have seen is that the person you will gonna marry, if you have Darakaraka in the first house, in that case that person will be at very close to your home, most probably in your city that you born in, or maybe at very close distance, very near distance to the place that you born. This is the first thing that we have seen, and it became true and true in many cases if your Darakaraka is placed in the first house of your natal chart or D1 chart. Now, if your Darakaraka is placed in the first house, then it indicates that you and your spouse will feel dedicated to each other. Okay, so it means that you are very attached to your spouse. Why? Because Darakaraka represent your spouse. It is your spouse significator, and now it comes to you. It comes in the first house, and that is you. So it comes to you. So that means you will be very attached or devoted to your spouse. Now the good thing here is that your spouse will also attach and devoted to you. So you guys have a great chemistry, we can say that, if you have Darakaraka in the first house. Although we need to see a lot of thing aspect and all these kind of stuff, but generally by just seeing Darakaraka in the first house, we can say simply that you and your spouse will feel dedicated towards each other, and you guys are like attracted and attached towards each other because your Darakaraka is placed in the first house. And I have seen that in practical, in example, that the person, even then, there may be some problems in every marriage. There is ups and downs and some problem, that's a different story. But main thing here is that no matter how good or bad the situation will be, you guys will be attracted or attached towards each other if you have Darakaraka in the first house. So that's really a good thing. Now there will be a sense of fulfillment into the marriage if you have Darakaraka in the first house. That's a great thing, because if you have sense of fulfillment in your marriage, then that's really a good thing according to me, at least. So if you have Darakaraka in the first house, then this is really great for you. Now your spouse will help you to develop your identity and your personality. If you have Darakaraka in the first house, then this is also seen that your spouse will help you to develop your personality and your identity. Like for example, you are a kind of person who is like careless, or who does not care about your looks, and your spouse is like a very beautiful intelligent girl, and she will be like, oh, you are not taking care of your personality. Then she purchase some clothes for you, and she take you to the shopping, and she will just try to make your PR, public response kind of thing, in a good way, right? I'm just giving you one example. It basically says that if you're Darakaraka in the first house, then your spouse is like someone who will take care of you, and she will try to, improve your personality. She will try to help you to grow in your life. That is first thing that we have. This is the thing that we see if you have Darakaraka in the first house. So after marriage, if you have Darakaraka in the first house, then your personality will improve. You will grow, and you will have a good identity and personality once you get married if you have Darakaraka in the first house, because your spouse will help you. So overall it's really a good placement. Now here, if you have Darakaraka in the first house, your spouse will also be a successful person or a self-made person, right? It may be there may be chances that your spouse may be someone who has their own business, or maybe a self-made person, successful person, if you have Darakaraka in the first house. And also they will help you to become successful. Also they will help you to improve your personality and become more successful, more independent, right? So there are also chances their spouse may be in some business if you have Darakaraka in the first house. So overall it's really a good placement. Now let's move on to the second house. What happens if your Darakaraka is placed in the second house? So now first of all, second house represent what? It represent our money, it represent our family. It's basically represent our savings, money saving, our family, our voice, our face, our tongue, donation related activities, right eye, our neighbors, and a lot of more things that is being represented by second house, right? Now if your Darakaraka, that is the planet holding the lowest degree in your chart, and that is your spouse significator, is placed in your second house, in that case it indicates that your spouse will be a family loving person. So if you want to get a spouse who is a family loving person, who will care you and your family and love you and your family, in that case you must need to be happy if you're Darakaraka in the second house, because that is the kind of spouse you will get if you have Darakaraka in the second house. So overall, if you have Darakaraka in the second house, you will get a family oriented type of person who will like love you and your family. Maybe she wants to live in your, she or he wants to live in joint family. So family is important for your spouse basically. Or maybe she will, try to make good family with you, like just take care of your kid and all these kind of thing. Your spouse will be quite wealthy, because second house is the house of like savings and wealth in money and all these kind of thing. So there's high chances, because your Darakaraka is second house, so you will get a wealthy spouse. Some people will also ask, will I get someone rich spouse? Then if you have Darakaraka in the second house, then this is one of the indication that you may marry someone who is from rich family, or maybe after marriage you will become wealthy, right? So this is being shown by Darakaraka in the second house. Now it also shows that they will have a good knowledge. If you have Darakaraka in the second house, then your spouse will have a good knowledge regarding finance related matter, because the second house is the house of finances, and Darakaraka in the second house show that your spouse will really good knowledge, having the good knowledge finance related matter. They may be a financial advisor, or maybe working in some finance field, maybe working in the banking or finance company or banking sector, something like that. Or maybe she's having a good knowledge in finance, maybe education in finance. All these kind of things are seen by Darakaraka in the second house. Now again, they maybe work in some finance related field like banks or any kind of financial organization, or they may have any kind of business that is related with the deal with the finance related thing. So it can also happen. Now again, if you have Darakaraka in the second house, your spouse will be very caring towards your family members too. So if you want a spouse who is like a loving, caring towards, not only towards you but also towards your family, in that case, if you're Darakaraka in the second house, then it's really a great indication that your spouse will be caring towards your family. Now your spouse may work related to speech also, because second house is also the house of speech. So your spouse may be working in something related to speech. Now, before I tell you more about spouse, I want to tell you that I have launched my money and wealth remedy self-help course. Don't miss this chance, because I'm giving massive % discounts for the first few hundred people who will purchase this course. In this course, you will learn powerful techniques and remedies to attract wealth and abundance using astrology. So act now and enroll fast. This offer won't last longer. Definitely check out this course on my website. Right? She may be a voice artist. Who knows that? Or she may be like a kind of a voice artist who is working the online digitally for creating some voice campaign or some podcast for some finance company. So these kind of link can also be seen, right? Because second house is also the house of speech. Now maybe they be a good speaker if in case they are not in any of the field of finance and bank and all these kind of stuff. Then this generally also show that he or she will be a good speaker, because Darakaraka is placed in the second house. Then it also show that their speaking skills are good. But although it depends upon a lot of aspect, combination and lot of things, but again generally it shows all these things that she may be working in these field or may be a good speaker. But here the married life will be quite satisfactory and wealth will be increased after marriage. This is seen that once you get married, if you have Darakaraka in the second house, then once you get married, then your wealth will definitely increase. It's really a good indication. It's really a good position. Now what happen if your Darakaraka is placed in the third house? Now what does third house indicate? Third house represent our courage. Third house represent patience. It represents hidden enemy. It represents your younger brother or sister. It represents our throat. It represents mother's longevity. It represents diseases related to respiratory system. It represents our speech. It represents our creativity. It represents media. And it represents a lot of things, right? So these are the general indication of third house. Now what happen when your planet holding the lowest degree or Darakaraka, that is your spouse significator, is placed in the third house of your divine chart? Now in Vedic astrology, it simply indicates that your spouse will be very courageous. If your Darakaraka is placed in the third house, is simply first thing it indicates that your spouse will be very courageous, no matter if she is a male or female, right? If you are male, then your spouse will be, your wife will be very courageous. It's really good. She may help you. Let's say for example, you are like, oh, should I go on that adventure trip or not? And let's say you have Darakaraka in the third house, then your wife will be, come on, we can do it. Let's go on that adventure sports. Let's do it. Let's do that. So these kind of things are also seen. Now, before I tell you more about spouse, I want to tell you that I have launched my money and wealth remedy self-help course. Don't miss this chance, because I'm giving massive % discounts for the first few hundred people who will purchase this course. In this course, you will learn powerful techniques and remedies to attract wealth and abundance using astrology. So act now and enroll fast. This offer won't last longer. Definitely check out this course on my website. So you will get a spouse who is really courageous. So you guys can have a good life. If you need any kind of like decision making problem you have, in that case, if you have Darakaraka in the third house who is like courageous, she will definitely help you in taking decisions or taking some decision where courage is required. So she will help you, because first thing it shows that spouse will be courageous, no matter if you are male and female. According to that, your husband or wife will be courageous if you have Darakaraka in the third house. Second thing is that communication is very important factor in your marriage. right? If your Darakaraka is placed in the third house of communication, then communication is the most important thing in your marriage. Listen this again. If your Darakaraka is placed in the third house, then communication should be there. Marriage without communication for you is the abortion of unionship for you. If you think that you will survive with less communication and all these kind of thing, and your Darakaraka is in third house, then you are a foolish person. Because Darakaraka in third house shows that your marriage requires a lot of communication. You need to constantly communicate with your spouse, right? So that your relationship will be like good right there. So if you want to improve your marriage and your Darakaraka is in third house, then try to communicate more with your spouse. Try to just travel with your spouse, because third house is also the house of traveling. So maybe your spouse is interested in traveling, or maybe your spouse is in some communication business, some traveling business. She may be working in media field. She may be a YouTube video creator who is creating video, or she may be someone who is like voice artist. She may be someone who is having podcast. Like third house is also the house of creativity. So she or he may be someone who is very creative person, maybe a YouTuber who is creating video, maybe a YouTube video influencer who is just creating traveling YouTuber, traveling vlogger type of person. So although we need to see a lot of combination for that, but third house generally is the house of creativity and traveling and communication. So generally, if you're Darakaraka in third house, it shows that your spouse need constantly communication from you. Maybe she wants you. Let's say for example, you are a male, then you have Darakaraka in the third house, or you are a female, your Darakaraka in the third house. Then your husband or wife want you maybe to travel with you and to communicate with you. Maybe she wants you to, like, let's create videos and travel. Like, there's high chances for that, right? So all these things are seen if you have Darakaraka in the third house. Also, we also seen that if you're Darakaraka in third house, then your spouse will be quite intelligent person. He or she will be intelligent. He or she will really intelligent, that they give you good advices so that you can get grow in your life and gain a good life, gain prosperity, and obviously live a good life ahead. And most definitely, communication is the most important part for your relationship if you have Darakaraka in the third house. Now, if your Darakaraka is placed in the fourth house, now what does fourth house represent? Fourth house in Vedic astrology represent property, vehicle, happiness, mother, house, hidden money, lungs, upper respiratory system, and our heart is also represented by fourth house, and a lot of things. Now, if your Darakaraka is placed in the fourth house, then this indicates happiness through marriage or spouse, right? Because fourth house is the house of happiness. In Hindi, it is called as the Sukh Sthana, right? Sukh in Hindi or Sanskrit, they call this Sukh Sthana in the Vedic astrology. That means the happiness, right? The contentment, the happiness that you get from your overall life. So if your Darakaraka is the house, is the significant of your spouse, it's placed in the fourth house of happiness, then it represents simply that you will get happiness from your spouse. It's really a good condition. Because if, let's say for an example, you have lots of money with your spouse, but if you are not happy, then what does it money how does it make any sense? Like, you have lots of money, but even you have some problem with your spouse and you are unhappy. But if you have this placement, Darakaraka in the fourth house, I will bet you that you will get a spouse who will make you happier. You will feel so content, so happy, so satisfied. No matter what kind of situation will you face in your life, you will feel that, oh my God, I am so lucky that I have such a beautiful, loving, caring wife. I feel so lucky. Or also the girl will feel like, oh my God, thank you. I feel so lucky that I have such a caring, beautiful, such a caring, handsome husband. Now, before I tell you more about spouse, I want to tell you that I have launched my money and wealth remedy self-help course. Don't miss this chance, because I'm giving massive % discounts for the first few hundred people who will purchase this course. In this course, you will learn powerful techniques and remedies to attract wealth and abundance using astrology. So act now and enroll fast. This offer won't last longer. Definitely check out this course on my website. So there's happiness from the marriage. Simply, if I would like to tell you in one line, there's happiness from the marriage if your Darakaraka is placed in the fourth house. Also, if your Darakaraka plays in the fourth house, you may gain property from your spouse. Maybe your spouse is living, having his home, and you get married, and then you guys just simply get property depending upon, also maybe you get some good vehicles after marriage, property after marriage. All these things can be seen if you have Darakaraka in the fourth house. You may feel more mentally satisfied and happy once you get married if you have Darakaraka in the fourth house. If you have Darakaraka in the fourth house, simply you will see that once you get married, you will feel so happy and mentally relaxed after marriage, because that happiness get activated by getting married to someone, right? Your spouse may have more than one property or vehicle, maybe two or more, three or more good luxurious cars if you have Darakaraka in the fourth house. All these things can be seen. So overall, Darakaraka in the fourth house is really a great placement. Now, what will happen if you have Darakaraka in the fifth house? Now, what does fifth house represent? Fifth house represents children, higher study, achievement, auspicious work, prosperity, followers. So in some cases, fifth house is connected with our mind kind of things, right? Now, what will happen if your Darakaraka, that is the spouse significator, the planet holding the lowest degree, is situated in this fifth house? Now, fifth house is also the house of creative talents, like the media kind of industry. So third house and fifth house are both the house of creativity, but third house is like a communication and all these kind of media creativity, and fifth house is a kind of a cinema kind of thing. We see camera and cinema, all these kind of things from the fifth house also. Now, it's like a house of passion for you. Fifth house is like your passion, basically. Now, if your Darakaraka is placed in the fifth house, then this indicate that there will be a romantic bond between you and your spouse. Okay, so fifth house is also the house of romance, right? Love and romance, fifth house. So fifth house, if your Darakaraka is placed, then simply shows that there will be a romantic bond between you and your spouse. Because for love marriage combination, we also see that if your seventh lord is placed in the fifth house, then it's like a love marriage. Also opposite is also true, vice versa. So in the same way, if Darakaraka is placed in the fifth house, then simply is in. Now, before I tell you more about spouse, I want to tell you that I have launched my money and wealth remedy self-help course. Don't miss this chance, because I'm giving massive percent discounts for the first few hundred people who will purchase this course. In this course, you will learn powerful techniques and remedies to attract wealth and abundance using astrology. So act now and enroll fast. This offer won't last longer. Definitely check out this course on my website. Indicates that you guys have good romantic bond with your spouse if your Darakaraka is in fifth house. Now, your spouse will also be romantic in nature if your Darakaraka in the fifth house. So if you want a spouse who's like a romantic, maybe dance and all these kind of romance kind of things you want from your spouse, obviously everyone wants that. Then if you have this placement, then you guys are lucky, because you will get a spouse who will be romantic by nature and to somewhat creative also, because again fifth house is also a house of creativity. She may be interested in camera and media, like in front of the camera kind of thing also. Like she would like to take a lot of photographs, selfie, and all these kind of things are also seen if you have Darakaraka in the fifth house. They're like, hey honey, let's just take our pictures. So these kind is also seen from that. Now, there will be some kind of creative field again involved if you have Darakaraka in the fifth house, like entertainment related field, film industry kind of things are also seen to the higher side if you want to know, if Darakaraka in the fifth house. Now, also, if your Darakaraka is in fifth house, then there's chances their spouse will be highly educated. Also, maybe their work is related to some education field also, because fifth house is also the house of education. Now again, I would like to tell you that one house represents a lot of things. So if Darakaraka is in fifth house, then one thing is sure, that you will get a romantic spouse, somewhat creative. Maybe she like to take pictures, camera, video, all these kind of thing. Maybe she is like a teacher also, because fifth house is also a house of teaching also, so it can also be seen. Some worker, some career related to education can also, maybe she is like an online video teacher. So here both significant is there, like camera is there, at the same time education is there, so it can also happen. Now, fifth house is also the house of like stock market and all these kind of things. So it may also happen that spouse may be working in the stock market, investing money in stock market, or maybe a stock broker or something like that. Now, it may also seen that if your Darakaraka is in fifth house, then after marriage, your earning or wealth will also increase, right? Now let's talk about Darakaraka in the sixth house. Now what does sixth house represent? Sixth house in Vedic astrology represent diseases, debt, loan, enemy, court cases, tension, diseases related to upper part of stomach, competition, job, sadness, you know, and a lot of other thing also. So generally sixth house represent our day to day routine. Okay. Now what happened when your Darakaraka, the planet that is the significant of your spouse or holding the lowest degree, is placed in the sixth house? Now, this basically indicates if your Darakaraka is in sixth house, this indicates that your spouse may be involved in some healing related field, right? Some healing related profession. Generally, I have seen that if Darakaraka is placed in the sixth house, then your spouse may be a doctor because it's like healing kind of field, na? Or she may be an astrologer, tarot card reader, an occult practitioner, like someone who is like in healing. They are healing, or he or she may be a motivational speaker. See, I am a male, that's why I'm saying again and again she, because it's natural for me. So you can consider according to your gender. Now, if you're female, then it's like for your husband. If you are male, then it's for your spouse. It's for your wife basically. So your spouse. Now, before I tell you more about spouse, I want to tell you that I have launched my money and wealth remedy self-help course. Don't miss this chance because I'm giving massive percent discounts for the first few hundred people who will purchase this course. In this course, you will learn powerful techniques and remedies to attract wealth and abundance using astrology. So act now and enroll fast. This offer won't last longer. Definitely check out this course on my website. This could be in some healing field. Like if a motivational speaker healed other person by motivating them, so spouse can be a motivational speaker. A doctor healed by his treatment. A psychiatrist, psychologist, astrologer, tarot card reader, any kind of healing profession. There's a lot of healing professions, right? So you can see healing professions, so there's high chances that your spouse may be involved in healing kind of profession. Some people also advise that if you have Darakaraka in the sixth house, so generally some cases it's maybe not good or good. So generally it is advised that if you marry someone whom you know and he or she may be a healer, then the negative effect of this sixth house goes down. So if you have Darakaraka is placed in the sixth house, then you should try to marry someone who is healer, right? Because if you do that, then signification of the negative part of sixth house goes down. Although there is yin and yang to everything, but still it will go down and the positivity will come up, right? Because you get married to the signification related to that. For an example, you are a Karka in sixth house and you get married to someone who's tarot card reader, astrologer, motivational speaker, someone who is healing other person. So in that case, it's not problematic. Also, you should try to marry someone whom you know, right? Like you know a person, you get married to that person. In that case, it's really good. Because if you have Darakaraka in the sixth house and you're gonna marry someone who is a stranger, then there may be problems in marriage, right? So you at least know person very well. There may be some meetings before getting married so that you guys can get know to each other, right? And then you know that okay, this person is healer. Then if you get married to that person, then life will be generally good. Otherwise it will create some problems also if you marry any random person, if you have Darakaraka in the sixth house. So you should think about that. Try to marry someone who is like healing kind of profession if you have Darakaraka in the sixth house. In that case it's really good for you. Now let's move on to seventh house. Now what does seventh house represent? Seventh house in Vedic astrology represents our life partner, spouse, marriage, business, any kind of partnership, visible enemies, daily profit from the business, lust, work, and a lot of things. Now what happened when your Darakaraka, which is the planet holding the lowest degree, which is indicator of your spouse, is sitting in the seventh house? Now, first of all, this indicate that your spouse will have a good negotiation skills. Spouse will have a good business skills, right? So if you want to get married to someone who is like a good negotiator or someone who is really a good business person, in that case, if you're Darakaraka in seventh house, then definitely you will get someone who is really a good having a good negotiation skill. Now there will be some kind of partnership, business partnership is also possible. Let's say for example you are male and your Darakaraka is placed in the seventh house, then there may be chances for example that you will get some business partnership with your spouse father. There may be some business alignment with your spouse father, you guys get married and there may be some business alignment, and after that your business goes up, you will get good business opportunities after that. It may also possible. So it can also possible if you're Darakaraka in seventh house that you guys get business partner, like you seen a lot of people get married and they started business together, and then that business grow up. So it can also be possible. Now generally this is a good placement. If your Darakaraka is placed in the seventh house, your spouse will be understanding. Now, before I tell you more about spouse, I want to tell you that I have launched my money and wealth remedy self-help course. Don't miss this chance because I'm giving massive percent discounts for the first few hundred people who will purchase this course. In this course, you will learn powerful techniques and remedies to attract wealth and abundance using astrology. So act now and enroll fast. This offer won't last longer. Definitely check out this course on my website. And your married life will run smoothly. Generally, they say if you have Darakaraka in the seventh house. So generally, it's really a good for your business, your married life, and all these kind of things. It's good. And there may be also chances that your spouse will be some popular person also. If your Darakaraka, maybe she is an influencer having for lakhs of follower on Instagram or YouTube or any kind of platform like TikTok. All these kind of things are possible if you have Darakaraka in the seventh house. Now let's move to eighth house. What happened when your Darakaraka is in 8th house? So what does 8th house represent? 8th house represent our age, survival, life, death, foreign travels, travels, ocean travel, overseas travel, distant diseases, accident, major diseases, unexpected money gains, lotteries, diseases related to lower part of stomach. All these kind of things are represented by 8th house. Now what happened when your Darakaraka, that is planets holding the lowest degree, which is your spouse indicator, is situated in the 8th house of your horoscope. Now some kind of transformation will come into the marriage, whether it is positive or negative, that depends upon horoscope after you get married. This is the first thing that is being seen, because 8th house is mainly the house of transformation. The crux of 8th house is transformation. And now your Darakaraka, which is significator of your spouse, is situated in the 8th house. It shows there may be some kind of transformation once you get married. If it's working in the positive way, then it's maybe like right now you've seen some people that they are earning. Now before I tell you more about spouse, I want to tell you that I have launched my money and wealth remedy self-help course. Don't miss this chance because I'm giving massive percent discounts for the first few hundred people who will purchase this course. In this course, you will learn powerful techniques and remedies to attract wealth and abundance using astrology. So act now and enroll fast. This offer won't last longer. Definitely check out this course on my website. Maybe let's say for example $3,000 per month. And once they get married, they are earning $10,000 per month and they have good cars, good lifestyle. So these kind of transformation in positive way can also be possible if your Darakaraka is in 8th house. So it's not like that if 6, 8, 12 houses are like bad houses. Some people say everything bad about them. No. I have seen many people who have Darakaraka in the 8th house, and once they get married, then there is a good transformation. Although there is negative also in some cases, but positive can also be possible. And the 8th house is also the house of unexpected wealth. Maybe you will win lottery after you get married. If you have Darakaraka is in 8th house, it's like a unearned wealth. It's like a house. So if Darakaraka is placed in 8th house, maybe you will win some lottery and you become millionaire in one day. Who knows? Anything can happen depending upon your planetary placement. Now, your spouse may be interested in occult sciences, like strongly they may be interested in astrology, palmistry, Vastu Shastra, tarot card reading, all these kind of thing, occult sciences kind of thing. Your Darakaraka is placed in the 8th house. Now you may gain money through inheritance. If your Darakaraka is placed in 8th house, then there is also a good chances that you will gain money through inheritance. Maybe your spouse family have some business or some property they will give you. It can also be seen, all these kind of things. Sudden money, unearned money come to you if you have Darakaraka in the 8th house. It also seen, right? So guys, this is all about Darakaraka in the 8th house. Now let's move to Darakaraka in the 9th house. So what does 9th house represent? 9th house, 9th house represent in Vedic astrology our education, our teachers, our guru, our luck, our religion, pilgrimage, fame, brother-in-law, brother and sister, brother-in-law, dream, monk. A lot of things are being represented by 9th house. Also the long distance travel can also be seen by the 9th house, but generally it's the house of your luck, right? Now what happens when your spouse in a significator, that is Darakaraka planet holding the lowest degree, situated in the 9th house? So first thing we have seen that your luck increases once you get married. You know, once you get married, then Darakaraka is placed in the 9th house, and there is high chances that your luck increases. Also, your spouse can be highly educated because it's also the house of higher education. Your Darakaraka is placed in the 9th house of higher education. So maybe your husband or wife will be highly educated if your Darakaraka in the 9th house. Also, once you get married and your Darakaraka is in 9th house, so it gets activated. So it also represents that after marriage you will travel to some long distance or some foreign land. Now before I tell you more about spouse, I want to tell you that I have launched my money and wealth remedy self-help course. Don't miss this chance because I'm giving massive percent discounts for the first few hundred people who will purchase this course. In this course you will learn powerful techniques and remedies to attract wealth and abundance using astrology. So act now and enroll fast. This offer won't last longer. Definitely check out this course on my website also. So I've seen that if Darakaraka in the 9th house, then once they get married, they will travel to some foreign land, maybe for honeymoon or maybe for different purposes. That depends. So it also can be seen. If most important thing, the most important thing, if you want to take, if your Darakaraka is in 9th house, simply it means that your luck increases once you get married because it's situated in the house of luck. Your Darakaraka is in the house of luck, and once you get married you will become more fortunate, more lucky, right? It is really a good placement, guys. Don't estimate this placement. It give you foreign travel, it give you luck, it give you higher education, it give you a lot of things. Mainly your spouse will be lucky for you. If you want to see if your spouse will be lucky for you, if your wife will be lucky for you, if your husband will be lucky for you, in that case you have to see Darakaraka is placed in the 9th house. Then simply he or she will be lucky for you. Now it can also be possible, listen carefully, if your Darakaraka is in 9th house, it may also possible that you may marry someone who is from foreign lands, or you may marry someone who is from different caste. In India they have different caste culture and all these kind of things. So it may also happen that you will marry. Generally it's like a overseas marriage. If your Darakaraka in 9th house, it also seen that you may marry someone who is from different country, different religion, different culture. It also seen high chances that you will get married to someone who is from different country, and then you're like, maybe you will fall in love with this girl who is from different country, and then you get married to that particular girl. Then you travel to long distance while living with her or him, and then your luck increases in that country and you will become more successful right there. It can also be happen, right? Who knows? Now let's move on to 10th house. What happened when your Darakaraka is placed in the 10th house? Now what does 10th house represent? 10th house represent your profession, your father, your business, your prestige, Rajyog ownership, rights, and a lot of things. But mainly we see in Vedic astrology 10th house as the house of your career, your profession. Okay. Now first thing I would like to tell you that if your Darakaraka is in 10th house, and I have seen many times this practically, if your Darakaraka in 10th house, then after getting married your career will increase. You will get promotions, you will get good kind of things in your career. Your career will start uplifting once you get married, and I have seen that very clearly. In fact, I would like to give you an example. I have seen the chart of this guy. This man has sun as the Darakaraka placed in the 10th house. Now what happened that before marriage he was doing some private job. After marriage, I think after just 2-3 months of marriage, he get a government job, and his government job was in banking sector. He became a very good officer right there. Not only good officer, his earning was really great if you compare it with the his past life or his life before marriage and after marriage. Just after getting married, after 2 months, his earning increases. He get government job. He become great officer in government job. So I have seen he has sun as the Darakaraka in the 10th house. So maybe different planet. Now before I tell you more about spouse, I want to tell you that I have launched my money and wealth remedy self-help course. Don't miss this chance because I'm giving massive percent discounts for the first few hundred people who will purchase this course. In this course, you will learn powerful techniques and remedies to attract wealth and abundance using astrology. So act now and enroll fast. This offer won't last longer. Definitely check out this course on my website. It's so different thing, like for Mars, you may be in military, army or defense, or Mars and Saturn you may be in engineering kind of thing. Mercury you might be in different things. Sun and Venus you can be in acting, and so we can see a different thing according to Darakaraka. So if Darakaraka is in 10th house, generally after getting married you will get an upliftment in your career. The person you will get married, if you're Darakaraka in 10th house, then he or she may be goal oriented or career oriented person. It may also possible. Also sometime workaholic kind of person can also be seen if you're Darakaraka in 10th house. He or she will help you to grow in your career. Again, once you get married, if you're Darakaraka in 10th house, then your career will increase 100%. There's high chances. Maybe you will get promotion after getting marriage. You are doing some job and you are working hard. You are not getting promotion and you are Darakaraka in 10th house. Then once you get married, there's high chances that you get that promotion. It's really actually a good placement if you're Darakaraka in 10th house for your career point of view. You will get upliftment in your career once you get married if your Darakaraka is in 10th house. Now let's move on to 11th house. What will happen if your Darakaraka is in 11th house? Now what does 11th house represent? It represents gains, income, fulfillment of your desire, wishes, profit, achievement, elder brothers and sisters, daughter-in-law. A lot of things are being represented by 11th house, but it is mainly the house of earning, income, and your desire fulfillment, right? Second house is the house of saving. 11th house is how you earn. Second house is where you save. Okay, so if your Darakaraka, which is your spouse significant at the planet holding the lowest degree, is placed in the 11th house of earning, that it's really a good placement, because it's first of all show that there is high chances that you will marry someone who is from rich family or who is like a rich spouse. So if you want to get married to someone who is from rich family, or you want to get a rich spouse and your Darakaraka is in 11th house. Now before I tell you more about spouse, I want to tell you that I have launched my money and wealth remedy self-help course. Don't miss this chance because I'm giving massive percent discounts for the first few hundred people who will purchase this course. In this course, you will learn powerful techniques and remedies to attract wealth and abundance using astrology. So act now and enroll fast. This offer won't last longer. Definitely check out this course on my website. Then it's really a great indication that you will get spouse who is from rich family, or who is a rich person, millionaire or billionaire spouse maybe. So also in some cases I have seen that if your Darakaraka is in 11th house, then after they get married their earning increases. Like maybe they get married to a rich person, at the same time their business or their job, their earning increases rapidly, or maybe if they get married to a mediocre kind of person, then their earning basically increases. Main thing is their wealth, their earning increases after getting married. Also their desires fulfillment started once they get married if your Darakaraka is in 11th house. It can also happen, it may also possible if your Darakaraka is in 11th house, that your spouse may invest in stock market, share market, etc. It may also possible. They may earn through that stock market, etc. It may also possible. You may earn through stock market and all these kind of things if you have Darakaraka in the 11th house. It can also possible. Uh, your spouse may be a wealthy person. If your Darakaraka is in 11th house, I told you earlier. If your Darakaraka is in 11th house and 11th house is also the house of your friend circle, then it may also possible that you may marry someone who is your friend, right? Or your spouse could be friendly to you. You guys have a bond of friendship. Like no one is king, no one is queen, just two best friend and a pure bond of love can be seen over here if your Darakaraka is placed in the 11th house. So generally, it can also possible their spouse may have large friend circle, network circle, and your network circle can also be increased once you get married. But generally, Darakaraka in the 11th house is really a good position if you want to see that financially gaining money and all these kind of things, then it's really a good position. Finally, let's move on to what happened when your Darakaraka is placed in the 12th house. So what does 12th house represent? 12th house represent expenses, losses, admit to hospital, bad pleasure, right? Sexual pleasures, foreign, a lot of things, left eye. Basically, mainly 12th house is the house of foreign land in today's world. Because in the old times when Vedic astrology texts were etc. is written, and at that time, you know, traveling to foreign land was not considered good because there was no plane. You must have to travel by boats and ships, and it take a long days, and you have to be in sea and ocean, and there may be a lot of problems in traveling to foreign land. So there's a lot of losses and person have to live. Now before I tell you more about spouse, I want to tell you that I have launched my money and wealth remedy self-help course. Don't miss this chance because I'm giving massive percent discounts for the first few hundred people who will purchase this course. In this course you will learn powerful techniques and remedies to attract wealth and abundance using astrology. So act now and enroll fast. This offer won't last longer. Definitely check out this course on my website. Away from your family, but in today's day and age, people are enjoying foreign travel. In fact, this is considered good if you can live in foreign lands, right? People will be happy, people wants that. So in today's world, the thing that were unhappiness in the past times when these texts were written, in today's world these things become the best things, these things become the blessings for that some person actually, but or I can say most of the person, because many people wants to live in foreign land in today's day and age. So what happened when your Darakaraka is placed in the 12th house? Mainly we consider it houses of foreign land. So if your Darakaraka is placed in the 12th house, which your spouse indicator, the planet holding the lowest degree, if it's placed in the 12th house, then indicate that you may marry someone who is from foreign land, right? Maybe from different cultural background, etc. also. So you may marry someone who is from foreign land. First thing is seen if your Darakaraka is in 12th house. Now there's high chances that your spouse will live in foreign country, or it may also possible that after getting married you will settle down abroad in foreign land in some other country after getting married, or you may travel to foreign land to get married to someone who live in other country. Anything related to that can be seen if your Darakaraka is placed in the 12th house. Also 12th house is also the house of spirituality, so it can also be seen that if your Darakaraka is placed in the 12th house, maybe you will get someone who is like a spiritual kind of person, maybe someone who is working in the spirituality field, maybe someone who is interested in spirituality, maybe someone who is like working in some exotic places, like different places, like your husband can be a jailer, like a police officer whose posting is in jail, like, or maybe someone who is like working in hospital. These kind of thing can also be seen, but mainly it's like it shows that mainly we see that spouse is from the foreign land or maybe interested in spirituality and all these kind of thing. Now there may be some plus minus if your Darakaraka is in 12th house. For that we need to see a lot of aspect and all these kind of things, so I do not want to just mix everything right over here. So generally if your Darakaraka in 12th house, then there's chances that you will gonna marry someone who is from foreign land or from different culture background, different religion, etc. So guys, this was my analysis of your Darakaraka, which is planet holding the lowest degree, which represent your spouse, significator is spouse significator, spouse significator is placed in the different houses from 1st to 12 in Vedic astrology, and then what will happen. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button and of course the big red subscribe button, and I will catch you in the next one. Till then, bye bye.